welcome to Revsportz. I'm Shourjyani Chatterjee, and joining me today is Snehasis. Now, we are here to discuss about the London Derby. The last time both the teams faced each other, it was a tie, and I remember it was Hayley Matthews who was bowling the last five balls, and it was a very tense game, Snehasis. We had a long chat about it as well. So tomorrow is another London Derby, and we really hope that it does not end in a tie. One of the teams, I hope they end up winning. But first question to you, Snehasis. Now that I've mentioned Hayley Matthews in my introduction, Hayley Matthews so far, your thoughts on that?
I think for Haley Matthews, no doubt that she is one of the key players for the team. But if you ask me, I think she has been a little bit inconsistent both with the bat and ball. Yes, with the ball she has done well, but again I will say she could have done more with the bat. Again, she has got starts, so many starts, but couldn't convert that. If you see, in a team like how well Trent Rockets are doing, see how well Sophie Tangley is doing for them as an opener. So compared to that, when you see someone like Haley Matthews, in this team as an opener, you expect that she will go out there and score those kind of runs. But somehow she is getting starts, but not being able to convert those. So I think this is an area that she needs to work on, because if your opponents do not score at a certain rate and in a consistent manner, it is very difficult for any team to do well, or post good totals, or maybe chasing good total, a big total in a shortest format of the game. So let's see how she does in today's game. But overall, again, she will be one of the key players to watch out for.
Snehasis, if I talk about MI London, do you feel that they are a little over dependent on Amelia Kerr, Nicola Carey, and Hayley Matthews, these three players?
Yes, unfortunately, whatever, the quality of cricket, the quality of performance that we have seen so far from MI London, I think we can say that they are a little bit of more dependent on their foreign options, as you mentioned, Haley Matthews, Amelia Carey, someone like Nicola Carey as well, especially with the ball, because Nicola Carey doesn't get that much to showcase with the bat, but still, I think they are quite dependent on that. So I think that has been the main problem, because as a unit they have not clicked. I think that has been the main problem why, and that is why they are at that kind of a position where they are now in the points table. So it's a huge game for them. Yes, mathematically they are still alive, but if you ask me, I think if they lost today's game as well, I think it's almost done and dusted for them in this campaign. So it's a huge game for them. But so more than depending, yes, there is no doubt that every team dependent on certain players, because they are the key players. They need to perform, but apart from them also, other needs to chip in. You cannot depend only on those players to do well in a tournament like 100. So others need to chip in. Otherwise, it will be difficult. So as a unit, they have to click. So let's see whether they do that in today's game or not.
Snehasis, I'm taking the cue from your answer. You've just mentioned the word dependent. Now, if we look at the London Spirits, also what we have to keep in mind is that they have Grace Harris, they have Nadine
Mm.
de Klerk, they have Marizana Cap, and Cap has been someone who has been consistently performing. If you look at the scorecards, if you look at her performance, she has been stepping up with the ball and with the bat, I would say. Nadine de Klerk as well. Nadine de Klerk was a little underutilized with the ball, and we've discussed that. However, these three players have stepped up for their team. So your thoughts on these three players?
Yeah, I think if you ask me among these three players, I will name first Madison Cap. I think she has been one of the top performers from this team so far, especially with the ball. With the bat again, she could have added a little more run, but her primary role is to take those wickets with the ball, and I think she has been doing that. So far she has been pretty consistent, picking up wickets at any stage, be it with the new ball, be it in the middle stage. Whenever the captain asking, she is coming and taking those wickets, giving those breakthroughs. So I think she has been brilliant. So when it comes to the bowling unit of London Spirit, I think they are quite over dependent as of now. Again, they are not clicking as a unit when it comes to the bowling unit. With the bat, I think Shourjyani, you can remember that since the start of this tournament, I am saying that they need to look for good starts from someone like Grace Harris. Otherwise, it will be difficult for them to post big totals or chase down big totals. Unfortunately, she has not done that so far. In the previous game, she scored that 50. She was looking good. I think in that game she could have contributed more, but unfortunately that rain came, and I think that disrupted the rhythm or the momentum, whatever you say. So I think that kind of halted that innings. But otherwise, it was a kind of a confidence boosting for her, that she scored those runs. But unfortunately, she needs to be more consistent. Yes, I know the kind of cricket that she plays, it's very hard to be consistent. But still, I think in WPL, we have seen a little bit more consistency from her while playing for RCB, again, while opening. So I think we can expect that. So let's see how she does today. For Nadine de Klerk, again, I think with the ball, she could have done better, expected better things from her. I think, especially in the death overs, I think she has struggled so far. So let's see how she do. And if you remember the last game that was tied between these teams, that day the equation was in favor of London Spirit. Nadine de Klerk was batting
Yes.
that time along with
Batting.
Glinda Dottin.
Yes.
And if you can clearly remember, Shourjyani, I mentioned that in the post-match live show that Nadine de Klerk should have used a little bit more game awareness that she has. No
True.
doubt about that.
True.
She went for that big shot. She got out, and that kind of a put pressure back onto her team. So I think she
True.
would love to love not to make that kind of a mistake again, given that kind of a situation if arrives in today's game. So that is one thing that I will keep an eye on. But overall, I expect a bit more contribution, be it with the bat, be it with the ball from Nathan Declark, because she has that quality. So let's see. But the main thing will be whether Cap can continue this momentum or not. It's not very easy for any player to continue the consistency, but the way she has managed so far, I think it's brilliant. So let's see how she does today.
Very true, Snehashish. And the point table looks a little difficult for both the teams, the qualification scenario right now, because they're at the bottom of the points table, but we'll hope for the very best. And we'll hope that today's match ends with the result and we do not have to see another tie. So, on that note, we are closing today's show. Thank you so much for joining, Snehashish. We will be back for the post show. Thank you so much for watching.